Hello again everyone. Today we find ourselves in Hearthstone. This is a game that's available for free through Blizzard, and it is a trading card game. And for today I'm just going to go through a arena run. So I kind of like the arena because it's, instead of how much you paid for the game and how many different cards you have available, instead it's just how well do you draft. And that can be very good for specifically trading card games. And while it's 150, whereas the card packs by themselves are usually 100, usually you get at least one card pack through the arena, and you get some extra gold. So I prefer to do that rather than just buy the packs by themselves using gold. But it looks like here I've got Garrosh, Gul'dan, and Belira as my three options. So I'm trying to think here what I want to go with. Because the rogue is going to be more about control. Gul'dan probably going to end up being Rush. I probably don't want to run that in a draft size format. Just Gul'dan, for some reason, just with me, I feel like Warlock's better in the structured format where you're able to build a deck. It's kind of the same with Valir, so pretty much stuck with going Garrosh. I mean, it's going to come down to what do I have planned. Because you want to always go into a draft when you're anytime you're going into like a draft size setting with trading card games, you want to go in with some kind of plan as to what you're going to run. So looking at these three, I think my best plan is going with Garrosh, and probably just trying to hope to draft something that's centered around weapons. So it's gonna depend on what my first few cards are like, but I think I'm gonna go with Garrosh. Alright. So I've got the Secret Keeper, the Azure Drake, and Light Oracle to start. That's not exactly the greatest starts, because warriors don't really typically run a lot of secrets, and I really don't want to have the Light Oracle as one of my starting cards. So I think I'm pretty much stuck with the Azure Drake, which is it's an okay card to start with. It's even though you typically think of more as like a mage type card, I still get to draw a card, and there's still options for warriors to do damage with spells. So I think I'll draft that first. Let's see where I go from here. Again, another Cold Oracle. Do not want. I really don't want to go that route. That would be more for when I was going, if I would be going a Murloc Warlock deck or something like that. Arcane Golem would be... It's really between the Arcane Golem and the Azure Drake. I'm trying to figure out what I want to draft here. I really don't want to go heavy into the spell damage route when I'm playing a warrior. So I think I'm going to go with the Arcane Golem. Has charge, so it's a little more on the standpoint of board control and that kind of stuff. I'm really probably not going to be playing a lot of minions for Frostwolf Warlord. Ironforged Rifleman is an okay card, but not too great, so I think I'm going to go with a loot order there. And you can see from the start I've got an okay start, not really too good, but it is what it is. No taunt in there yet, so it's making me want to go for the Ironforged Grizzly, but I've got time. Because I'm still drafting on my 4th card out of 30, so I'm going to go with a Hearthstone. Alright. There's Battle Rage, which is okay, but not something that I'm probably going to be able to use very much. Shield Block's always a good card for warriors, especially in the draft size format. And even though there's the Warsong Commander, I think I'm going to go with the Shield Block just because it's so much... having draw cards in your deck is stuff that allows you to draw cards is so useful. Let's do on the Fiery War Axe too. Those. Alright. So here, the Chron Elite is actually something that is fairly useful, even though it has a 4 cost. But because of the amount of draw that I'm tempted to draw the slam, or start trying to get some more taunt in the deck. Let's see here. Let's check my board control here. I don't really have that much yet, so I think I'm going to go with the slam. Still allows me to pick up the Warsong Commander if I want to. Let's check what I got here. Don't really have much in the way of means yet. Charge. Tempted to go with the Voodoo Doctor, just because that's a solid card regardless. But I think I'm going to go try and go with Warsong Commander, and that'll help me fill out the rest of the deck. Priestess is good. I'm going to need some taunt, but I'm definitely with the shield blocking me. Alright, here we go. Armor Smith is a... Bloodsail Corsair is a very dependent card, so I'm probably not going to end up running that. Mind Control Tech is okay. It's more... Again, it's a situational card from the standpoint of it, but Armor Smith is very... Armor Smith is a fairly good card by itself. I'm going to need some more taunt in this deck eventually. I think I'm going to go with the Armor Smith here. Archmage doesn't really fit this deck. Murloc Tidehunter, not really. Not really building much of a board around that, even though I got the Warsong Commander. But Iron Beak Owl is it's a very good card to help countering anything that wants to plot, so I'll grab the Iron Beak Owl. Storm Enchantment's okay, but because I got the Slam and I got Execute, I think I'm going to go that route for additional board control. It's kind of weird looking at my deck right now because I don't really have a direct plan as to what I'm doing. But it's a decent enough start. Hopefully I can draw something I need. Alright, so the Abusive Sergeant could potentially help. But I think I'm going to need to go with the Enrage. It gives me either more board control or the option of buffing one of my creatures. So let's see here. What do I need more of? Darkscale Heal would be okay, but I don't really have anything that would really benefit from it too much. So because I need taunt, I'm going to go with the Iron Fist Grizzly. Just striking those in there. I really don't care for the Ventricle Missionary. Although it could potentially give me what I need in this deck. Rex Rocketeer is okay. But it's more of a rush deck, and I'm not really running that. So I'm going to go with the Enrage again for that one. Definitely draw a card. I've already got 2 Enrages, so don't need that. Gonna need some taunt. Second Iron Beak Owl will be okay, but taunt's gonna be more important at this point. Go Enrage, Execute, or Stormpike Commando. At this point, since I'm 17 cards in, I really want to go through and look at what I've got from the standpoint of what I'm running. Got a decent amount of armor, decent amount of draw cards. So I got the utility I need at this point. I'm probably going to need some more power. It's just the Stormpike Commando doesn't really provide much power by itself. It's more about board control. And at this point, I would rather go to this game. Here we go. Managed Shout. Okay, Bite Warden's not going to fit with my deck because I currently don't have any heals in it, so that's something that I'm probably not going to grab that one. So it's really between Quest Adventure and Shout. If I can offend the Quest Adventure, he'd be one of the cards that I really need to provide like a endgame strategy. I need a lot of lower casting cards things, so the Quest Adventure should help. I don't think the Command Shout is really going to help me that much in this deck. I mean, it can help with board control or just attacking, but I don't really see that helping too much with this deck. So I think the Quest Adventure is probably a better route to go. I've already got enough draw cards, so that's also one of the things that's taking me away from wanting to go to the candy shop. So I think it's probably going to be either the Abomination or the Knife Juggler. Let's see here what I've got. Let's see. Looks like I've got 2 taunts in the deck so far. Let's see. The Death Rattle. This rattle's not going to hurt me too much. I'm going to really need some endgame cards here, though. Although, what it looks like right now with what I'm running might be an early game oriented deck, which would make me want to go with the Knife Jungle instead of the Abomination. So I think I'm going to keep with that early game theme and go with the Knife Jungle. A lot of decks in the arena are run specifically late game decks with very powerful cards. Some people that run arena don't really have those cards in their structured decks, so that's why they take the advantage to get those cards and run in an arena deck. So let's see here. Hydrant Squire is always a good card. Dire Wolf Alpha would help me a little bit with damage standpoint. Although Heroic Strike would probably give me a little bit more ball control than I would need. So all 3 of these cards are actually could work, and they'd be decent cards. I'm actually low on cards that would be 0 or 1 mana costs here. I have plenty of 2s, plenty of 3s. Let's see here. I've got plenty of draw in my deck too, so that's going to help since I'm running a lot of lower casting costs. But I think I'm going to go with a standard Argent Squire here, just so it gives me something a little bit more, and I don't really have anything to buff it up though. That's a problem. The Dire Wolf Alpha would help me a little bit more with that damage. But I think I'm going to really need to... I think I'm going to need to go the Argent Squire here. Alright, so I got another times for an execute. Got 2 taunts in the deck so far. So I think I'm going to go with the Shield Bearer just so I can protect some of these cards like the Knife Juggler, the Quest and Adventure, things like that. Alright, so I can go with the Frost Elemental, the Iron Forge Rifleman, or another 3rd execute. One thing I'm noticing in this deck is I've already got a lot of board control. I've got 1 Slam, 2 executes, 2 Enrages. Got 1 weapon. I would like to have at least another one, but there's nothing really with this deck that is running around weapons. So that's kind of my original plan shot out the window from a standpoint of what I wanted to run in the first place. But at this point I really do need higher casting cards. The Execute and the Rifleman don't really provide me with much else. So I'm pretty much stuck with going to Frost Elemental here. Because I really need to start getting some endgame cards in here. Rampage would be good. So I could go Enrage Rampage. That would buff one of my creatures. Cleave would help with ball control. I don't think I want to go with the Jungle Panther. I've already got a lot of 3 casting cards, and I don't want to go too much into that. Let's see. The Rampage would provide me with a little bit more buffing from the standpoint of giving me more damage in a place that because I'm a little bit low on that at this point, so I think the Rampage is going to help with especially with the Enrage and comment with different cards like that. Cleave is always a good card for board control, but I think I definitely want to go the Rampage here. Alright. Southsea Deckhand's not really going to help me much since I've only got the 1 weapon. Grimsk Orlock, I'm not running Murloc, so that's going to be useless for me, so I'm pretty much stuck going to the Amani Berserker. Although this really works with the 2 cards, with the card that I just drafted too. So if I can go Enrage on it, it's already got the Enrage, and then if I need to buff it up even more, I can go with the Rampage. So that's going to be very good for combinations in my deck. So we got 5 cards here left. Let's see what I'm going to go with here. Citadel Swamp Ooze is going to be okay. It's always a good card, even if it's always a good low-cost card, even if your opponent's not running a weapon. So I think I'm going to go with that. I really don't need a 3rd execute, and the Stormpike Command is really not going to provide me with much more. So the acidic swampers. Alright, so decision time here. Do I want a third shield block? The problem with my deck right now is I don't really have much endgame. This is not really the greatest of drafts I've had. Don't really have much. So I want to go with the Whirlwind, because that would set up a little bit more of the executes and stuff like that. It would help with the... Because a lot of the deck is actually running around the Armor Smith right now. But I only have one of them. I mean, I can stack a bunch of armor, but it's not really going to help me that much. Do I want to run the Whirlwind, or do I want to run another Amani? I think I'm going to run another Amani just so I'm not... Because I do have a combo that's very dependent on that. And I don't want to be stuck with only looking at one to possibly draw that. So I'm just going to add the second here. Really need to start getting some stuff going for the last deck here. For the last few cards. Knife Joke is going to help because Ancient Mage and Light One don't really fit with the deck style. Although, the spell damage could help because I'm running a lot of actual... I'm running the Inner Flames, I'm running the Slam, but I'm not really running much else for damage, for direct damage spells. So that's why it's not going to help me as much. Obviously the first card was the Azure Drake, so that gives me enough there. Problem again, if I play down the Azure Drake and I try to enrage my own creatures, it's going to deal more damage to them. So I got to be careful with when I use that Azure Drake. In this case, the best card for my deck, since these two don't really fit in this kind of situation, is a Night Joker. That's really what you, in a draft format, you really start to have to look at that with what your deck's kind of doing, especially if you get the last few cards and seeing what you really need to fill out your deck. The Dread Corsair would have been nice, but I only have the Fiery War Axe, so it's very, even though it provides me with another taunt, it's very situational to want to be able to play that for free. If I was running, if I had more weapons in my deck, I'd be wanting to run that. But the Rathi Weaponsmith is going to help because it gives me both a 3/3 and a 2/2 weapon. So that's going to help me a little bit more than the Harvest Golem would do. So then I'm going to go with the Rathi Weaponsmith here, and let's see what I got for the last card. Mana Addict's not going to help me that much here. Abomination could give me help, but this is one of the cards that's really going to help with the deck that I have right now, the Defender of Argus. This is going to give me more taunts than I only have, I think. How many do I have in the deck? 1, 2, I think 3 with the Shield Bearer. So that's going to give me a little bit more taunt. I've already got a decent amount of board control, so that's really going to be... I think that's going to be the best bet out of this one. The Mana Access is not really going to help me that much, because I'm not really running too spell heavy, even though I'm running a decent amount. The Defender of Argus makes the most sense here. So there's the 30 cards, and there's the drafting. Looks like it's going to be an okay deck. I think my prediction for this is maybe like a 3/3 or 4/3. I'm probably not going to be any higher than that. If I get unlucky with who I'm going against or what I draw, then I'm probably looking at more like a 2/3 or something like this. It's probably not one of the greater arena decks. I mean, if I get lucky, I could probably run a 6/3 or a 7/3 win-loss. But I think more than likely, I'm looking at like a 3/3 or 4/3. So anyways, there's a drafting process. I think I'm going to stop it here, and next video will be the very first game. So we'll go from there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time for when we're actually running this arena.